Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like something just wasn't right? Like a part of you had been chipped away without a word being said? Carl Jung, one of the founding fathers of modern psychology, believed the psyche sends us subtle warnings through feelings of discomfort. These signs point to behaviors that quietly sabotage our mental and emotional well-being. If you ignore them, you're not being noble. You're allowing your soul to be wounded in silence. This isn't about being cold or unforgiving. It's about self-respect. Let's uncover the 7 deeply unacceptable behaviors that Jung would never want you to tolerate, ever. 1. Emotional manipulation, the hidden puppet strings. Jung often emphasized the importance of individuation, becoming your true self, free of others' projections. Emotional manipulators disrupt this journey by turning your emotions against you. They guilt trip, gaslight, and twist the narrative until you're the villain in your own story. They'll say, if you really cared about me, you'd do this, or you're just being sensitive. But Jung taught that confronting the shadow, the hidden, repressed aspects of the psyche, is essential. Manipulators avoid their shadow by projecting it onto you. And if you tolerate this, you carry their emotional baggage while abandoning your own truth. They steal your voice and call it love. Jung wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. When you are emotionally manipulated, you lose your ability to direct your life consciously. You become the result of someone else's hidden control. Ask yourself, am I allowed to feel what I feel? If not, manipulation is already at play. Red flag indicators. You frequently feel guilty without cause. You're constantly explaining yourself. You dread their reaction more than the actual consequence of your actions. Shadow work reflection. What part of you still believes you have to earn love through sacrifice? 2. Chronic disrespect of boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They're filters. They keep toxicity out while preserving inner peace. Carl Jung considered the psyche sacred, a temple. Allowing someone to walk into that temple with muddy feet is spiritual vandalism. When people violate your boundaries repeatedly, it is not a misunderstanding. It is a method to control, dominate, or absorb your identity into theirs. Whether it's a partner who always checks your phone, a boss who calls at midnight, or a friend who makes your time feel optional, this behavior fractures your integrity. Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. You cannot do that while babysitting the comfort of people who ignore your limits. Red flag indicators. You feel like you're constantly justifying your boundaries. Saying no causes anxiety. You feel drained after every interaction. Shadow work reflection. Who taught you that boundaries were selfish? In what situations do you allow others to override your no with their need? 3. Passive-aggressive behavior, the mask of hidden rage. Passive aggression is rage in disguise. It is fear pretending to be politeness. It is unresolved conflict with a ribbon on top. Jung believed the psyche cannot heal in environments of deception. Passive-aggressive behavior, snide comments, backhanded compliments, and silent treatment creates confusion. It's like psychological static. You hear something, but the signal is never clear. This is not harmless behavior. It fractures emotional safety and conditions you to decode instead of express. Jung warned that people who cannot face their own rage will pass it on to others in indirect forms. If you allow this behavior, you become the emotional punching bag for someone else's shadow. Red flag indicators. You're always guessing what someone truly feels. You feel responsible for their mood swings. Apologies are rare, but blame is common. Shadow work reflection. What makes you stay silent when someone is clearly hurting you indirectly? When did you first learn that conflict must be avoided at all costs? 4. Projection of the shadow, the dangerous mirror game. Jung's concept of projection is one of his most powerful teachings. When people cannot accept aspects of themselves, jealousy, weakness, rage, they project them onto others. If someone is deeply envious, they'll accuse you of being competitive. If someone is manipulative, they'll claim you can't be trusted. When you're someone's projection screen, you stop existing as a person and start serving as their psychological dumping ground. This projection is unconscious. They don't know they're doing it, but your psyche feels the violation deeply. Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. But that insight only works when you're willing to own your shadow. Those who refuse will keep scapegoating." Red flag indicators. You're blamed for things that don't match your character. You feel like you're constantly defending your intentions. They say things like, "Everyone thinks you're." Shadow work reflection. When do you confuse love with fixing someone's broken mirror? What parts of you feel compelled to absorb someone else's guilt? 5. Dehumanizing criticism disguised as honesty. Honesty heals. Criticism that dehumanizes shatters. Jung believed the soul is made of myth and symbol, delicate things. People who weaponize honesty usually do so to mask their own inadequacy. You're not good enough. You'll never be successful. No one will want you like this. These are not truth bombs. They are soul grenades. And if you internalize them, you begin to narrate your life with someone else's voice. Jung wrote about the inner critic, a voice formed in early life, often by critical caregivers. If you're constantly criticized, your psyche begins echoing those wounds. You must consciously separate external feedback from internal truth. Red flag indicators. You shrink around certain people. You begin second-guessing every decision. Their words play on a loop in your head. Shadow work reflection. What unhealed part of you still accepts cruelty as truth? What would your life be like if you replaced those voices with your own? 6. Inconsistent behavior that breeds anxiety. Jung believed the unconscious thrives on symbols, patterns, and continuity. People who are unpredictable in their behavior cause psychological chaos. One day they love you, the next day they ghost you. One moment you're a priority, the next you're an afterthought. This hot-cold behavior is not excitement, it's nervous system abuse. This erratic energy keeps you stuck in survival mode. It prevents you from accessing deeper psychological integration. Jung believed we are drawn to familiar patterns, even if they are harmful. If chaos was your childhood, you may confuse it with passion in adulthood. Red flag indicators. You're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're addicted to the highs and crushed by the lows. You think love must be earned again and again. Shadow work reflection. Where did you first learn that love feels like walking on eggshells? What would it feel like to trust consistency instead of drama? 7. The smiling saboteur. False empathy for control. Perhaps the most dangerous of all. Those who appear to care, but whose kindness is just a mask for control. They listen closely. They nod. They remember every vulnerability you've shared. And one day, they use it. Carl Jung warned about the persona, the social mask. Some personas are so polished, you don't see the shadow hiding behind them. These people pretend to support you, but subtly undermine you. They plant seeds of doubt. They praise you just enough to keep you dependent. This false empathy makes you distrust your own feelings. You'll think, they're so nice, maybe I'm the problem. You're not. Red flag indicators. They keep score of the help they've given you. They invalidate your pain with fake concern. Your growth threatens them, and you don't know why. Shadow work reflection. What makes you crave validation from someone who confuses love with possession? How do you confuse kindness with loyalty? Carl Jung's teachings remind us that tolerating unacceptable behavior is not compassion, it's self-abandonment. You are not here to carry the shadow others refuse to face. You are not a therapist for someone's unresolved trauma. You are not a mirror for someone's hatred of themselves. You are a soul on a journey toward wholeness. And every time you say no to darkness, you say yes to the light within you. Call to action. If this script made you reflect, pause, or even hurt a little, that's good. Jung said, "Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." So look within, reflect, and take action. Don't keep this wisdom to yourself. Share it. Someone out there is tolerating the intolerable because no one ever told them they deserve peace. Be that voice. Subscribe to our channel for more psychological deep dives, healing insights, and uncomfortable truths that set you free. Awaken your mind. Reclaim your power. It begins now.